Bible prophecy is active and unfolding daily. Zechariah 12, Isaiah 17, Psalm 83, Ezekiel 38. Here is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. From Ynet News, 2 Israeli border policemen, 30-year-old Ha'il Satawi and 22-year-old Kamil Shnaan, were killed, and another 2 were wounded from shrapnel in a terror attack last Friday morning at the entrance to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. The 3 Israeli Arab terrorists from al-Fam, armed with 2 Carl Gustav rifles and a handgun, opened fire at the Israeli officers standing just outside the Temple Mount compound near the old city's Lion's Gate. The attackers then fled back into the Temple Mount compound and were shot dead by other police officers on the scene. 3 hours before the attack, 2 of the terrorists posted a photo on Facebook with the Al-Aqsa Mosque in the background and wrote, quote, "The smile will be more beautiful tomorrow," close quote. Now, I usually check out Pastor J.D. Farag's Mideast Prophecy Update every week, my friends. And if you aren't familiar with Pastor J.D., you can check him out by clicking the link I have for you beneath today's video in the drop-down Read More section. I really appreciate J.D.'s diligence in reporting what's going on in the world relative to Bible prophecy, and his humor adds a nice touch to everything he does too. But you'll want to check out this week's prophecy update because Pastor J.D. has some things to say about the prophetic significance of last week's terror attack on the Temple Mount. He covers 3 aspects of it, chief of which is what an attack of this nature may in fact lead to. Pastor J.D. really points out some very important things about the way things are shaping up around Israel, my friends. I encourage you to watch this week's update by clicking the link I have for you below. And if you post any comments on his videos or Facebook page, tell him I sent you. Turning to wars and rumors of wars, on Tuesday, July 11th, from Al Jazeera, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said it has confirmed information that Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIL, the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant, has been killed. Rami Abdurrahman, director of the War Monitoring Group, told news agencies that Baghdadi died in Deir az-Zor province in eastern Syria. Then on Friday, July 14th, from Stars and Stripes, 2 German female tourists were stabbed to death, while 4 other foreigners were wounded in an attack at a hotel in the Egyptian Red Sea resort of Hurghada. The assault came just hours after a shooting near some of Egypt's most famous pyramids outside of Cairo. Killed 5 policemen. The motive behind the stabbing is unclear. The attacker, a man in his 20s, dressed in a black t-shirt and jeans, wielding a knife and intentionally seeking to attack foreigners, was arrested immediately. Turning to our Intifada update, on Tuesday, July 11th, from Haaretz, West Bank Palestinian driver Muhammad Ibrahim Jabrin sped toward a group of Israeli soldiers near his village, wounding 1, and then exited his car while brandishing a knife and attempting to stab soldiers before he was shot and killed. From Ynet News, IDF troops came under attack at the Jenin refugee camp overnight last Tuesday by Palestinian terrorists throwing dozens of explosives. The troops returned fire, killing 2 terrorists and wounding a 3rd. And now looking at our review of last week's news. 2 Israeli border policemen were killed and another 2 were wounded from shrapnel in a terror attack last Friday morning at the entrance to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has been killed. 2 German female tourists were stabbed to death while 4 other foreigners were wounded in an attack at the hotel in the Egyptian Red Sea resort of Hurghada. A West Bank Palestinian driver sped toward a group of Israeli soldiers near his village, wounding 1 and exiting the car while brandishing a knife and attempting to stab soldiers before he was shot and killed. And IDF troops came under attack at the Jenin refugee camp by Palestinian terrorists, throwing dozens of explosives. And that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week. Until then, stay safe. Shalom.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.